everybody. Welcome to Coupled and Cultured. I'm LQ and I'm here to talk about our destination wedding. This is basically the first video in regards to the wedding, and I just wanted to go over like why we chose a destination wedding versus a traditional wedding, and where it's gonna be and why we chose that location. So first things first, I love to travel. Bryant loves to travel now, but when I first met him, he really wasn't a big traveler as far as international travel. So he'll do domestic travel, but as far as going out of the country, it really wasn't his priority. But I always knew since I was a little girl that I wanted to travel, but most importantly, when I did get married, I wanted to do a destination wedding. So once Brian popped the question and we got the ball rolling as far as choosing a date, I was like the first to bring it up. Like, why don't we get married, at some tropical destination? And he was not feeling it at first. Brian's family is from New York and my family is from Texas. So I was going mostly on the idea that regardless, my family would have to travel. So why don't we all just travel? Make it even, make it fair. And then also I could get like my dream that I've always wanted, which was to have a destination wedding. So once he was on board with that, he was like, all right, whatever you're gonna do. So once he said that, then it was up to me to like figure out a location. So I was really into the idea of getting married in the Bahamas. I've never been to the Bahamas yet. I was like, it'll be a great trip. It's somewhere I haven't been before. I've been to Mexico several times. I've been to Jamaica, and those were other options as well. But I was looking into places like that, like Caribbean locations that are, heavily traveled, easy to get to, etc. So we had to really consider like the cost for our family and friends. We were already putting on what could be considered a burden for some people, because now we're getting married, but we're telling people we want you to join us, but it's gonna be somewhere where you have to fly to. So in order to make it easier for everyone, particularly those family members who do not have passports, we decided to pick a place where you wouldn't need a passport in order to fly there. So I looked into Bermuda, I looked into Puerto Rico, I looked into even doing cruises and possibly docking and then having the wedding, because, and also trying to accommodate those family members who didn't have passports. Brian's mom was afraid to fly. She had never flown before, so she was definitely afraid of getting on a plane. So that was my initial dilemma with the whole destination wedding, because this is what I wanted, but I also wanted her to be there. So I started looking at different cruises that would allow us to do what we wanted, but to also include the people that we wanted to be there the most. Eventually, I ended up coming across the Virgin Islands. It is a part of U.S. territory. You don't need a passport to get there. And once Brian's mother did, get over her fear in a sense and let us know that she was willing to fly, it was a go from that point. So we had checked that off the list, and now we were focusing on the family members who didn't have passports. So looked up at St. Thomas. I started doing research, and I came across a website that talked about the different things to expect with getting married in St. Thomas. And I came across, like, when they were listing like different hotels, resorts, and things like that, a listing for a private villa. Now I must mention that St. Thomas is a particular situation. It's different from traditional destination weddings that I was used to reading on or hearing about, because the St. Thomas is a U.S. territory, there are not many all-inclusive options there. So there is one resort that does offer an all-inclusive package, but even still, it's not really all-inclusive, and it's significantly more expensive. So to accommodate those who didn't have passports meant that we had to lose a lot of perks as far as getting a resort that offered that, an all-inclusive option. So that means we would be losing out on having a situation where people didn't have to worry about food and drinks for the duration of the trip. We lost out on the ability to have everybody in one location. And then the cost for us as the couple went up substantially. But just thinking about what was more important, like, would people really pay to get passports and go through the process? People who are not really adept to flying and that's not really their priority. That would be not only an investment for them, but if they don't even see themselves, you know, traveling that much, then it wasn't necessarily worth it for them. So we had to consider that as well. So we settled on St. Thomas and we ended up finding a villa that we fell in love with, and we booked it. Once we had our date, Bryant, I showed him what I found with my research. He was like, all right, go ahead. We booked the villa. And at this point, the villa sleeps 18. So it was like our immediate family and the wedding party is staying there. And then everyone else will be staying at neighboring like Airbnbs, other villas, other condos or rentals and hotels, like based on their budget and based on where they would like to stay. So we're at the point of where now we're 6 months out. I'm so excited. But what has been most stressful is like our budget growing as much as it has, and then also considering where everyone is going to stay, how everyone is going to commute back and forth between where they're staying in the villa for those who aren't staying at the villa, and then making sure that people feel comfortable on the island, people have access to the resources that they'll need, taxi, safari bus or rentals, and then most people are staying in like rented condos with full kitchens, so it's like they're gonna have to either go out to restaurants to eat or they're going to have to prepare their own foods. Same with us at the villa. Like if we couldn't really afford to have the entire week catered because we're staying there for 6 days, so we're gonna have to go shopping when we get there and make sure that we stock the villa with food, you know, so that we have something to eat on those days when we don't have like catered food. So there's a welcome party we're hosting when everyone gets there, which will cover the food for that. There's also the rehearsal dinner for those who are in the ceremony. We're going to cover the meal for that, and then the ceremony, the reception, of course, and then we're hosting a morning after brunch, which we will cover the food for that. But outside of that, we're really depending on everybody to really, you know, feed themselves. So overall, it has been exhilarating but also stressful. I feel like I started early with planning. Like, he proposed to me on Christmas of 2018, and by January 24th we had already booked our venue, and by the 31st of January I already had my dress. Like, I was not playing. My big issue or panic was like getting into the finish line and still having so much to pay for or so much to do. Like, I don't work well under pressure, so I was like, let me start doing all the things that I can do now. So the only thing that we really have left to do is things that are relying on the final head count. So at that point, we're basically just waiting to get to that point so that we can pay our final vendor, which is our caterer, and then we're done. Alexa, stop. So sorry, my son is cooking and he puts his timer on. So that's pretty much it. I will include like pictures of the villa at the end of the video so you guys can see where we're going to be getting married, and we want to take you guys along for this journey. So as we finish out these last 6 months and then we go into our vacation and prepping, we want to keep you guys, you know, updated, because some of you are couples but you're not married yet, or you are engaged, or you're still trying to decide what you want to do once you're ready to make that bigger commitment. And, you know, maybe looking into our journey and seeing how we're going about doing our destination wedding, you may get some ideas that you can use. So until next time, I mean, for now, I just wanted to tell you guys where we were doing it, why we chose that, and I'll keep you guys posted and updated. So until next time, holla. Have a good one.